Welcome to another Grand Arena video. This time it's a bit different because I'm trying to combine my last two matches, which were against Berato and Malak. Spoiler, I lost both of the matches just because I didn't really have time to play, so I played very sloppy and I had like family stuff going on, so I was just winging it in a bad way. So, and because there were like slugfests from my end, because I was playing very poorly, I just thought I'd do some kind of highlights of both matches or like stuff you can something to take away from. And so this video is a bit different. I might go back to the old format for the next round. Anyway, while I'm talking, you already see that I again played Wampa versus Star Killer with an Omicron and an Omicron Datacron on their team, but also Omicron and Starkiller. But this time I played it well. I used the second special whenever available, and then punched Palpatine, and then punched the whole team, or womped them, so to say. Then in another video I've shown that Dash, Vendor, and Landino can beat JML. And I think back then I also mentioned that the only thing that might stop this is Barris. And so in this match against Berardo, I thought this 100% will fail, but I tried anyway. You know, like just see if I'm wrong with my assessment. And I sped it up because it eventually becomes a timeout. Because I never got it to work to kill Barris, which I think is the key here. You ideally want to have a big shot available, either from Vendo or from Landino if he has like all the buffs, like crit damage up, like whatever, offense up, and I think if he's buffed he has extra crit damage and offense or crit chance, but one of these or both or all the things. Forgot a kitty that as of now. Yeah, and so you really need a big hit to take Barris out. But if she's like relic 8 out of her mind, you know, health stack, then it's easy to get her at like 250k, 260k health without a problem. Before relic 9 even, so, and there's no problem. And then you can try to kill her, but it won't happen. At least I got out the other guy, like, what's his name? Katan, which kind of surprised me. Just like, hey, maybe I should go for someone else instead of Barris, and then I tried it and it worked, because I guess he was kind of flimsy, but to get through both Barris and JML would be kind of tricky. I guess there's still a chance if you time everything right, if you have like super high offense or super high health on Vendor, ideally I guess relic 9 would be sufficient. Super high health, potentially also crit damage triangle. Yeah, and so it turned out, and this was where like the match for me began to go downhill. And as I mentioned, I really don't care that much anymore. I still try to clear, you know, like, so if I don't want to sit there after 2 matches and just give up, but it's just like I don't really care so much about winning that anymore, because it's mostly out of my control what datacrons my opponent has and what datacrons I have. And usually it's I don't know, it's kind of a unwritten law or rule that you always get opponents that have like all those 25% Terminator datacrons, and you have like 1 or 2, so that is fun. And if that happens a lot, you just cannot, how to say it, you just have a certain amount of teams that don't care about that stuff, and if they are already gone or you don't have them available, then it's kind of a mess. Anyway, here Ray Mirror again, tried to save Armorer, and which potentially was a mistake here because I could have used her, or just a better lineup. I think Ray, Queel, and IG used to be very good in the past. That was before Datacrons. Right now I feel they're not that good. Hoda or Armorer I think are better, and this combination of Hoda and Armorer is really tricky, especially with the Terminator gain on Raid, and she's so fast that she stacks like bonus protection on them, and then it's almost impossible to kill them. And so, as you've seen here, I lost my team flying further of a ship. And the problem was as well that I was super high health still on this Ray, so that meant I didn't really had a chance to kill her because my ultimate was too weak to take out Hoda. I didn't get access to Hoda because he was always, as you can see, under foresight, and even if, or was like stealth, sorry, not foresight. And even if I got access, he had so much bonus protection, even the whirlwind didn't really matter that much. So it was like a lost cause, and just like tried to play it out, and yeah. But eventually, as you can see, the health still was so high that there was no way through. But yeah, you still play down the clock and hope for the best. Time out your ultimates right so that you at least don't get killed. Yeah, anyway. I think, I'm not sure if you time out, did you even get the banners? I don't really know. I think you don't get them anyway. Yeah, and then I had to clean up JML. I took my own JML. Yeah, I didn't want to play around. I had already tried some other meta counters, but they all failed. So I was like, oh, okay. Guess I have to use GL here, which is okay. I would have used it initially anyway, but I just wanted to prove myself wrong, which is stupid. Don't do that. If you have the gut feeling this will fail and you have something safe, just go for the safe option. If you have enough for a back wall, that's of course something that you also have to take into account. Anyway, so then I cleared that JML. Next one I cleared Ray. Because of the high health steal, I only had like one option to really win that, and that is Kylo. I think he's the only GL really besides JMK that doesn't really care about these TM boost rays because he's just available of being immortal himself via his ultimate. So if you reach that and time it right, it's not much of a problem. Here I didn't time it, now I used it, so got in my ult, Ray got out of hers, and so I just could take her out. Still like not an easy battle, you have to time things right, but eventually you go through her. Then I faced a Malgus with Talon and Marauder. I think this is one of like the cheaper options people are placing, but I think it's not the best option because you can take it out with Traya. Given you need to have like a high health Nihilus, he needs to tank the initial hit from Malgus because Malgus will go for him. As you've seen, I managed to do that, and so it wasn't really a big risk anyway. So after that, it's pretty straightforward. Just isolate Malgus, and then wait until you have a perma kill available, and just kill them. Malgus. We did it here. Also, isolate helps, so it can't be revived. There's no bonus life from Talon there. And then after that, you just take her out and you go home with not best banners, of course, because it's hard to regain protection, but usually you just can re-heal yourself or your friends, your friendly civs, and then you get 54 banners. Yeah, and then here I used Iden against JML level 9, not JML, CLS, sorry, with the level 9 Datacron. They had the damage immunity for 2 turns, but you can dispel this, and Iden does that. So I went for Chewie here. Then I get my buff. I always forget the name and just lazy look it up. And after that, it's almost like, yeah, game over. Doesn't really matter what kind of Datacron you put on CLS in freeze. Iden, I think, is a very hard counter to that. And I prefer this comp because of the assists you get from range, the days from Death Trooper, the cooldown increase, and also the retribution from range trooper. It's just a great lineup in freeze. Then there was a Darth Revan. I used Starkiller for that. Maybe not much to take away from this because I think it's quite a straightforward counter. yeah, when they're buffed, they kind of really like do a lot of damage to, or when they are debuffed, they can do a lot of damage to your team. So that's why Malak doesn't do really stuff with his Force to Aiden. And then you just like kill them and don't get best banners because it's not the best lineup. But still. Then seeing more of Radus lately. Most of them have even the Omicron. I don't have it as of now. I have to save them for the next big thing, which is Ben Solo. And I think Radus can cause quite some problems, but if you use CLS, it's pretty straightforward. Just kill Radus, kill the sides, and then you get banners. I faced Radus twice this, like the past 2 rounds, like each round I faced them and always used CLS and always worked, not a big problem. This was the team I mentioned in the last video, which I think might be one of the better, or not even, or if you don't have what, like even the best comp for Maul and Freeze. A very fast Armorer with the 25% turn meter, plus Canaris, plus Maul. Because you can call to assist, you already do some decent damage in that with Armorer, and that grants you that Canaris definitely will go after the first special from Maul. So then you get your 5 stacks of Anguish and then just go to town. And here I used it against our friends the Inquisitors with their stun Omicron, Datacron, which is really annoying. Wasn't really a problem in this match, but in the next round versus Malak, it was one of the teams that I almost couldn't clear because it didn't really have the right tunes away though. But I then had a secret weapon which we will go to in a bit. Yeah, so I really like this team. It's expensive, of course, but at the same time, why not? And as you've seen, there already has been a fail on this team. That's why it's only 53. Then Bad Batch against this Dash, Queel, IG team. I think I also used something else on this previously, but I don't know, I underestimated something, or I just picked the wrong tunes. And so I lost, but I'm not sure if that was the case here, like another match. Generally, I don't like this comp on defense, but if you don't have the right team, of course, it's hard to get around it, and which is always good. So I guess it's part of the strategy of the opponents. Even the weirdest teams that I wouldn't set can make sense if the strategy is right. Yeah, but here taking out Dash, and then it's just a matter of time before they fall. Yeah. Generally, Bad Batch still one of the best teams in the game. So really can recommend clearing them, and even also giving them relics, like high relics, especially for the 2 damage they're dealing when they have like defense up, which is often not the case in Freeze, because for that you need to do a lot of basics with Echo or use Wrecker, and both is not easy to get because of the mechanics that you want to have in the Freeze, because you mainly use specials from Echo. Anyway, going to ships, and they really just like pick one fight to at least show one ship fight, and this is a mirror match. Not really like a mirror, it's more like a sorta mirror, because they had like IG 2000 in the starting lineup, which is, I guess, anti-first order. And so I thought, okay, I can use my own executor here, even though I'm slower. Doesn't really matter, I think. This is like a very easy mirror for the starting comp that when you have Xanadu, because for them it's more difficult to get off the ground, because the call to assist from Xanadu is just like better than just like the stun that IG has, which will end up on Hounds 2 anyway. As you can see, I've got my 2 thingies there, the blue one on the red one already, and so could take out the IG, almost got out Slave 1 as well, and so could focus down here. Of course it's getting healed up, so it's always like a red race. But anyway, I'm closer to ult, and this match is pretty much under control, and yeah, so happy life in Fleets when things go right. if they go wrong, it's hell on earth. Not really. There are worse things. Also, I see this more recently that people just use the Sith Bomber, which kinda is anti-First Order as well, anti-Rebels to an extent, but yeah, at this stage it doesn't really matter anymore, because the match is almost over, or this fight, because Stick is gone, everyone is gone, the Cup Ship is gone. And of course you lose some banners, but still good enough, like to get 72 banners. Then I'm in the next match already, which was kind of interesting in some aspects. So here I used Iden against Maul. Pretty straightforward again, even though there was a Cara Dune, which is anti-trooper of course, but didn't matter that much in this case. Getting my reputation up. Unfortunately couldn't daze her, so she gets a stun, but doesn't really matter, because I get turn meter once the buff is dispelled, and then it's just like it's so easy for me to walk over them. Yeah, Iden is great. Always loved her like in Battlefront, but in this game even more. So it was nice. Then there was a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron team, which can be super tricky with the 25% turn meter stuff. Because you have to time things right. In this case I didn't get the stun, so it got dicey, but then what you do is pass the turn to Tech, then he does that, you target Echo with that, and the person you want to stun, in this case it was Anakin, then I could kill Qui-Gon Jinn, and then now you just have to go for Anakin. Use the basics here to remove turn meter and just let it expose and hopefully kill him. Didn't happen here, so I killed him this way, and then unfortunately Cam got off. Potentially, I just should have used a special from Echo in this case to daze him or to do whatever. But anyway, our friend Hunter might have died anyway. So, but other than that, I think this is the best way. If you time the stuns right at the beginning, it's pretty straightforward. Usually, you don't even lose Hunter, but sometimes it happens. If you can't time things right in the beginning, you might lose this match. Then I used Malgus in offense in a mirror here because I thought Darth Revan and this Talon might make it difficult for Traya, especially Darth Revan, and so I didn't want to risk it. Potentially would have worked, but yeah, I just tried a mirror and wanted to see what happens. And it felt super weird, to be honest. That I sped it up, so speeding up means it gives you an indication that it's a long fight. And I still have to go through the kids. Right now I'm like quite busy with work and life per se, so I don't have time to study all the kids in detail, and don't want to spend like hours and hours reading everything and fully internalize them. Usually it comes with time. Over time you get things. But in this case, I was basically going in blind, just knew the basics of the kit, but not the essence of it. Because usually like the first weeks, the first month you use on defense anyway. But yeah, I wanted to see what happens if I use mirror. And overall, as you can see, I think it's offensively okay. But as you can see, this was a Relic 8 Darth Malgus on defense. I have Relic 9, quite health stacked. Could it be higher, of course. Try to stack even more with using basics and stuff, but it just takes forever to get through this guy. And of course, passively, I'm also adding protection to him again, because I don't understand the kit so well, so I'm doing all the wrong moves. But yeah. Getting him down bit by bit, essentially just waiting to get a big hit again from Malgus to do the 2 damage, which ramped up to I think 160k by now or something like that, 170k, which wasn't still enough. Like yeah, it was a bit annoying. So, but the good thing is like my team is, as you can see, almost full protection on all of them. So. Not bad. If you just manage to kill enemies, then it might be a very offensive powerhouse. Yeah. As you can see, timed out. I guess one more big hit and would have been over. Then what I do usually in this is like if there's like a one shot or like just one enemy and I need a bit of security, I take in Dengar lead with the bounty hunters because he has a contact that is very easy to trigger. Pretty similar to boss, just the other way around. 10 hits on I think in this case the beefiest enemy or something like this. Anyway, as you can see, I've triggered it, got my contract, and could take out Malgus quite easily. So this is Dengar lead is a good cleanup counter if you need to work fast and don't have time. Then versus this Skywalker team, General Skywalker, I used EP Mara Starkiller. My opponent used the same, I think, on mine, but my Rex was faster than their Mara Jade because I have him quite fast with the little bit of turn meter, and so they lost the match against my gas, which was good to know or good to see. But if you're faster and get things right from the beginning, it's quite straightforward. I went for Rex twice. So to say, trigger like sacrifice from Fives and then going for Rex again because it usually feels easier. Also, but it can also be like annoying. I once had a case where I did that with a C solo against Gas, and Rex was so beefy it took forever to take him out with C. And he stacked up like his Rexecute and almost like got into the yellow help or from C, and then I used the ultimate just to end the match because it got too dicey for my taste. Yeah, so here killing finally Rex, but yeah, losing our friend Palpatine here before I can use the Star Destroyer of healing. Would be great if this thing would revive as well, to be honest. Yeah, but you cannot everything, so 54 banners here. Then another example of Rados with damage immunity, which isn't also that important because you can just cleanse the debuffs. Or is it dispel the buffs? That's the way I meant it. Dispel buffs, and then you can go for Rados. Or you kill the tank first, then go for Rados. So I think CLS, at least in this lineup, is quite a hard counter to Friend Raiders. Yeah. So not full banners, but still okay. And then this was one of the Southwall matches, which was like, I saw this team, I felt like, okay, I think I can take in Bam, Mando, Bam, and Han Chewie. Because I remember I took something strong out with this team, but I think I remembered it wrong. Yeah, so what happened here is usually I just tried to focus down Maul initially, but then that didn't happen, and so suddenly it's like 1 versus 2. But however, I got off like my birds, killed Maul, and then was 1 versus 1, which was like a slappy fight. And that's why I sped up this thing, because it takes a while. You have to in this instance, it either times out, or you have to time it so well that you get healing immunity on them, that they can't heal themselves, that you make enough damage then to whittle them down bit by bit, and eventually just take them out with the basic. With birds doesn't really matter because you have like 1 bird, you have 2 birds, and sometimes it happens like that. You use the birds when they are in damage immunity, and so it's really stupid. But also like seeing this was like, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? And I think the team I took out with this was back in the days Gas and maybe a Dash Han Chewie team. Yeah, so somehow my brain was like, hey, this should work. Yeah, but as I said, I just like wing it most of the times. Sometimes I have bright moments where things happen as they should, because I usually know what I'm doing, but if I'm not, then I'm not. So, yeah, here the dots killed him. So then there was I wasted Wampa on something else, and so I didn't have him available, or her, and so I had to wing it against Aiden, And I thought, yeah, potentially Padme could take care of this with Rekka is beefy enough to revive some hits. We have Padme, of course, like, so if you have assists, which will come, which will happen here because you have buffs and there's range. So assists kind of are your friend because they passively create protection up. So at some point, if you time it right, you should be able just to take out at least the sides. So as this was the plan, and then clean up the solo item, which is difficult enough depending on how she's modded at times, because she has the 100% turn meter in the beginning if she's alone, then just like already takes out one character, and then it's super hard to catch up to this. So if you mod her for like good potency or like higher potency, still look that you get a lot of offense on her, because it really makes a difference in taking her out. And if you then also have like a high health steal Datacron on her, helps as well, because she does triple hits, so heals like passively 3 times. That's nice. In general, like health steal is one of the broken mechanics on Datacrons right now. I think TM is almost okay, because some teams don't care about it. But as I said, if you just face like those and they have all TM gain, then it's a different story. But what really is annoying is the health steal and so many Datacrons that you see nowadays. I think from the first set especially, but also the second one has it as well, I think. I might be wrong. No, they has it as well. And I think that's just broken. If you have like 300% health steal and stuff, you just can't kill them. Unless you have like a perma-death ability or like instant death, perma-death, whatever. Yeah. And as you've seen, managed, thanks to Courage, take out first range, first show and then range. Almost got her down here, Aiden, but it got so close that time-wise that it spoiler times out. And of course assists on her are not your friend, you just heal her then. And so timed out. I took in several counters and she just took out teams left and right, and so I took in, okay, just taking the stupid teams, so the teams with stupid mechanics, just like the Night Sisters. Try to perma stun her so she doesn't use her buff thingy. And as you can see, the health steal that she has is quite high, so every time she almost gets up to full health. And if you assist on her, you bring her to full health, and then all the plague is gone, and it was like, ugh, what do I do here? But here it's just like in a lot of like quote-unquote dicey counters, it's just a question of how you time your abilities, how you use them. In this case, just like use basics from to stun her if available, or use specials to get like plague specials from zombie ideally, or from Daka, Mavatalzen, sorry, and for Daka I just use the basic, and just to keep her stunned, and then use the basic from Mavatalzen once plague is there, and so you can whittle her down. And here I made a mistake, which led to like such a draining sync of my teams, because I was miscalculating the speeds on that team. I thought, oh, I don't have armor available, I don't have a fast light set character, I don't have the Datacron with TM anymore. But my Gideon is fast enough, but he wasn't, because I didn't account for like the what is this thing called, this debuff that the Inquisitorials are doing. I forgot the name, sorry, I'm really bad with this. The spinning thingy, the red one, and they get speed for that, and so they were faster than me, and so everything went down the drain. Yeah, and so I wasted Maul on this, and a lot of good teams followed. And I won't show them all, I just will show the secret weapon that helped me to get through this after I almost had nothing left anymore. And this is Jabba's. Just like gear your like scavenger, engineer, and like one of the leads, and you're good. Like they kill themselves. That's the good thing about those assist teams. make them beefy. Like high relics are recommended, of course, on the Jawas, but also make them beefy with protection or health or something like that. Defense sets, whatever. Speed doesn't really matter. And just wait. And then the Inquisitors kill themselves. And so it's just like Grand Inquisitor left. I think I couldn't take him out. I think he was then eventually too strong. Or I timed out, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think he killed my team eventually because he gets his like bonus turn once they reach like the 6 stacks of whatever this is called, and then just takes me out. But just to take out the sides, this team was perfect. And then I took in a trash team, Phasma with Faust and Officer, just to take out this solo character here. Which is pretty straightforward. Phasma is still nice with all the assists you get, and you don't even need like real damage dealers in this case because none of them is really damage dealer. Phasma is, I think, a support. There's a tank and there's another support, and the only thing that really helps here is like the TM removal you get from time to time, the speed down, and just like the assists that can, over time, just help to whittle this guy down. And so, yep, straightforward cleanup. But still, what a mess this was. Yeah, like another battle. This is a team you don't see it often anymore, but it used to be one of the more frequently placed defensive teams. And I had a Malak available, and so I thought, why not use Malak here? Of course, like if they time things right, it might be risky, but then again, Malak is Malak. He has fear, so they do kind of some crits from time to time, not always, but when, then they are feared, and so I was kind of feeling comfortable with this, and yeah. Doesn't really matter. But it was kind of interesting that I almost didn't really heal up, which I guess is just because my health pool is so high, or my health protection pool is so high on Malak, that the bits he took from our friend Finn didn't really matter. So he's red, and like, oh my god, this is going to fail, and I was like, oh no, I can heal up again, and it's just yellow, what's going on here? But once Finn is out of the picture, I think it's a matter of time, and then yeah, then the health steal helps even more. Than now back in green, almost there, taking out Poe, took him out, and so Nest, and it's the next. Pretty simple, straightforward. And there she's gone. Only if, oh no, got full banners, that was nice. Yeah, and then going to ships, I think this is even the last match of this video, and then we had like the speedy comp of Executor, and so I thought, yeah, just take Rebels. I think it's a straightforward enough counter. So what you do is just kill IG-2000. Here then I healed my bigs, so they went. Then it was out of stealth again, so I could will them down. Here need some luck with assists, but I got them, so 3 versus 1. Looking good so far. Next ship coming is Houndstooth, which was okay. Then self-dispel on Biggs, brought in Cassian. Could go for Razor Crest here, which I want to get out because it's a threat, of course. And yeah, almost got it. One more. But then, of course, comes the heal of Annoyance. And so I just had to take a Mass Assist, which was okay. Now I need only like the AoE from Millennium Falcon to get through this. So I was waiting for that. Now I have it, got it, took out Razor Crest, and now I just have to wait for the right time to bring the next reinforcement, which ideally should be the Y-Wing, the Rebel Y-Wing that is, and then could take out Houndstooth. But of course they also have reinforcements and brought in, what's his face, Scimitar, which was interesting because it kind of helps Houndstooth to self-cleanse, because on basics they self-cleanse, but I could dispel that immediately, and so brought in the Y-Wing, and then almost got it down. thought I could do something crazy. Healed up Biggs a little bit. Didn't lose a ship so far, which was nice. But then took out the ship and then taken out Scimitar, and then the match is over. So thanks for watching. I think don't use other ships other than the bounty hunters on this fleet. Doesn't make sense. Bye.